In this complete beginner's guide, we'll be going over several methods to easily create eye-catching t-shirt designs on Canva. With tons of user-friendly design tools and features, Canva is one of the best platforms you could use to create custom designs for t-shirts and other products. I'll demonstrate over a dozen examples of how to create t-shirt designs on Canva, including using t-shirt design templates, AI image generation, making simple text designs, adding graphics and other elements from the Canva library, using font combinations, and much more. Whether you want to create a design with only text or a complex image with several graphics, you'll learn everything you'll need to create amazing t-shirt designs fast. So let's head over to Canva and go over various methods to easily create custom designs for your t-shirts. But before we get started, in order to follow along and access all of the tools and features that we'll be covering, you'll need to have a Canva Pro account. If you haven't joined Canva Pro yet, make sure you unlock your free trial by heading over to learnwithjason.com or by simply clicking the link in the video description. With Canva Pro, you can access all the t-shirt design templates, thousands of images and graphics in the Canva library, gain the ability to export designs with a transparent background to add to the products in your online store, and unlock tons of other tools and features to help you create eye-catching t-shirt designs fast. Go ahead and click the link in the video description to unlock your free trial of Canva Pro and access everything you need to create amazing designs for your t-shirts. So the first method I'll be demonstrating to create t-shirt designs is by using the Canva t-shirt design templates. On Canva, you can access thousands of t-shirt design templates that you can customize and use. These are professional pre-made designs that already include text and graphics that you can change and edit however you like. This makes it easy for anyone to create professional t-shirt designs even with no prior experience. So let's head over to Canva and go over how to access and customize the t-shirt design templates. So to access the t-shirt design templates from the Canva homepage, let's start by going up to the search bar up top here. From here, go ahead and type in t-shirt. From the drop-down menu, you should see an option that says t-shirt with the t-shirt icon beside it. Let's click that now. This will take you to a page where you can view all the t-shirt design templates that are available on Canva. If you look here, you can see there are currently over 13,000 templates available, and even more are being added each month. If you scroll through the design templates, you'll see they have templates for any type of design that you may be creating. Each design will feature text and/or graphics, and can be fully customized any way that you like. They have some free templates available, but to unlock all the templates, you'll need to have a Canva Pro account. With so many templates available, it can be hard to find exactly what you're looking for. So let's go back up to the top here and go over how to filter our results. If we look at the filters toolbar here, we can view several filters that we can use to sort our results. Under style, we can sort the templates by several categories such as illustration, tech, corporate designs, and more. If we click the theme filter, we can see all sorts of themes that we can filter our results by. This includes things like business, art, holidays, and more. And at the very top here, you can also browse several popular categories that you can sort the t-shirt designs by. Feel free to select a category or filter your results if you like. But for this example, I'm just going to browse all the templates and see what I can find. As you can see, the design templates come in all sorts of styles and designs, and each template is fully customizable. Feel free to browse the templates until you find the one that you want to use. But for this example, I think I'm just going to go with this one. When you select a template, it'll open up a window where you can view the template details. If everything looks good, go ahead and click the Customize This Template button. This should open up the design template in the Canva editor. Here's where you can fully customize any of the elements on your template. To make things a bit easier to see, let's use the slider bar at the bottom here to make the template a bit bigger. There we go. If you look at the menu on the right here, you can see that you have the ability to print t-shirts directly on Canva, but we'll be going over this a little bit later. So now that I've selected a t-shirt design template, let's go over how to customize it to turn it into my own design. When customizing t-shirt design templates, the first thing I like to do is update the text. So go ahead and select the text on your template and change it to whatever you want it to say. For the 3 text elements on my template, I'm going to change it to "You just got served." And there we go. So now that I've changed what my text says, next let's change how my text looks. Whenever you select a text element, you'll notice the text toolbar appear at the top of the page here. Here's where you can change your text font, the size of your text, colors, the format, add effects, and other options. So to change my font, let's click the drop-down menu here. Here's where you can access hundreds of fonts that are available in the Canva library. And they have pretty much any font that you would need, whether you need something that's simple and elegant or something that's bold and stands out. Feel free to try out different fonts and see which one works best for your design. Whenever you select the font, you'll see it update on your template. For my text element, I think I'm gonna go with this font here. So now that I've selected the font that I want to use for my first text element, let's go ahead and go through the same process to select the fonts for the other two text elements as well. Simply select your text and use the drop-down menu at the top toolbar to select a new font. For some designs, you may want to use the same font for each text element, but for my design, I'm going to use different fonts. And this will depend on your personal preference, your style, and the design that you're creating. I think that'll work. Whenever you change the text, graphics, or other elements on your template, you may have to resize or rearrange things a bit. To move an element, simply select it and drag it to the correct location. So I've updated my font. Now let's go over how to change my text color. When I select a text element, the text toolbar should appear at the top. To change the color of my selected text, let's click the text color icon here. This will open up a menu where you can select any color that you like for your selected text. When you select a new color, it should instantly be updated on your template. For this example, I think I'll just go with this color here. When creating your t-shirt design, you may want to change the background color so you can see how it looks on different color shirts. To do this, let's select the background, then click the color icon at the top menu. You can then select any color that you like to use for your background so you can see how your design looks. So for my text, I've changed the font and updated the colors. So now let's see what else we can do. If you're looking for ways to help your text stand out even more, you can select to add various effects that are available on Canva. If you select a text element, then go to the text toolbar at the top. You should see a tab that says Effects. If you click this, it'll open up a menu where you can view all the various effects that you can add to your text. They have several really cool effect styles available, including the shadow effect, which I use a lot, the lift effect, a hollow effect, the splice, an outline, the echo, the glitch, a neon effect, and an effect where you can add a background color to your text. Feel free to try out and use one of the effects if you like, but for this example, I think I'm going to keep it simple and not use an effect for my text. If we take a look at my template here, you'll notice that two of my text elements are curved. If you wanted to add a curve to your text, you could easily do this by going to the Effects tab and going down to the bottom of the menu. Here's where you'll see the Shape section, where you can add or remove a curve from your text. To add a curve to a text element, simply click the Curve button here. You'll then see a slider bar appear underneath where you can adjust the amount of your curve. Simply move the slider to the left to curve your text more up, or to the right to curve it more down. I think I'm just going to go with this. So we've gone over several ways to customize your template text. Now let's go over how to update the graphics. We're going to be sticking with the same style as the template, but let's start by selecting and deleting the default graphics. In order to create a good t-shirt design, you'll need to have some good graphics. Luckily, we can access thousands of graphics in the Canva library. To access the Canva library, let's look at the menu on the left-hand side here and click the Elements tab. This will open up a menu where you can browse through all the shapes, graphics, photos, videos, and other elements in the Canva library. To find graphics to use for my t-shirt design, let's go up to the search bar up top here. From here, simply type in the type of graphic that you're looking for. For my design, let's start by searching for tennis. From the results, you'll see all the graphics, photos, videos, and other elements that are related to the keyword you searched for. Since we're only looking for graphics to use for our t-shirt design, let's select the Graphics tab at the top here. Now my results should only show all the graphics related to the keyword tennis. If we scroll through the results here, you can see they have all sorts of different graphics that you can use for your design. They have a lot of free graphics, but to access all the graphics in the Canva library, you'll need to have a Canva Pro account. So to replace the graphics that were at the top of my template, I think I'm going to go with this tennis ball here. When you click one of the graphics, it should then be automatically added to your template. You can then resize your graphic by dragging the corner and rearrange your graphic by clicking it and dragging it to your desired location. I'm simply replacing the graphics that were originally on the template. So let's put this first graphic on the right hand side of my top text. And there we go. And if I select the graphic and click the duplicate icon in the menu here, I can make an exact copy of the graphic and move it to the left side of my text. When adjusting your elements, you can use the guidelines on the template to make sure everything is aligned. So for my t-shirt design template, I've replaced the top two graphics. Now let's replace the main graphic. For my main graphic, let's go back to the Elements library and get a little bit more specific by searching for tennis racket. Now all of my results should only show graphics that are related to the search term of tennis racket. Feel free to take your time and browse through all the graphics to find the perfect one for your design. When you find a graphic you want to use, click it to add it to your template, then resize and rearrange it as needed. And with your graphic selected, you can also use the round icon at the bottom here to rotate your graphic if you like. This will help you get your graphic in the exact position that you need for your design. So I like the tennis racket for my main graphic, but I think we can add a little bit more. So let's go back to the Elements tab here, and this time, let's search for tennis ball. All of my results should now only show graphics that are related to the keyword of tennis ball. Take your time and browse through the results, and find the perfect graphic to use for your t-shirt design. Once you find a graphic that you want to use, simply click it to add it to your template. When you select many of the graphics that are available on Canva, you'll notice a graphics toolbar appear at the top. This will allow you to edit the graphic in several ways, including flipping the graphic, changing its position, and for some of the graphics, even changing the colors. Feel free to edit your graphic if needed, and once you're finished, you can then resize and rearrange it on your template. There we go. Now I think this looks like a pretty cool tennis t-shirt design. Feel free to add more text, graphics, or make any other adjustments if needed. But once you're finished, you have several options that you can use to add your t-shirt design to a t-shirt. If you're using a t-shirt design template, you should see a button up top here that says Print with Canva. If you click this, it'll open up a menu where you can view your design on t-shirt mockups and have Canva print and ship t-shirts to you as well. If we click to enlarge the mockups here, we can get a larger image of our design on several t-shirt mockups. Feel free to browse through the mockups and make sure your design turned out the way you wanted it to. For my tennis design, I think it turned out pretty good. If you wanted to order your design on t-shirts directly from Canva, you can use the same menu on the left to select a shirt color, the sizes you want, and the amount of shirts. You can get one shirt for $20, or if you get more shirts, you can actually get discounts. Once you select your options, simply click the Continue button, enter your payment details, and once you place your order, Canva will ship your t-shirts directly to you. But if you want to print your t-shirts using a different service, or you're a print-on-demand seller that wants to add your design to your online store, you can simply download your design to your device to upload wherever you like. To download my design, let's look up at the top right of the page and click the Share button. This will open up a menu with several share options. Let's look down at the tabs here and click the Download tab. Here's where you can select your download settings. From the File Type drop-down menu, make sure you have PNG selected. This will allow you to export your image with a transparent background to add to t-shirts. With PNG selected, you should see the option here to export your image with a transparent background. This will remove the colored square behind your design and allow you to upload your design to t-shirts without any background color. Also, for t-shirts, I like to adjust the size of my design using the slider bar here to about 3,500 by 4,500 pixels. This will ensure the pixel size is big enough to have a crisp and clear image on my t-shirt. But keep in mind, in order to adjust your design size and download your design with a transparent background, you'll need to have a Canva Pro account. So once you've adjusted your download settings, go ahead and select the pages that you want to download, then click the Download button at the bottom. And after a few seconds, your new t-shirt design will be downloaded to your computer. You can now print your design on t-shirts using another service, upload your design as a new product in your print-on-demand store, or use your design however else you like. So now let's go over one more example of how to create t-shirt designs using Canva's t-shirt design templates. I'm just going to click the icon at the top right here to add a new page to my project. There we go. So first, let's go over how to access the design templates directly from the Canva editor. From the menu on the left-hand side, let's click the design icon at the top. This will open up a menu where you can view all the t-shirt design templates available on Canva. If you have a specific design or style that you're looking for, you could narrow your results by using the search bar at the top. For this example, I want to create a photography design, so let's type in photography in the search bar. Now all of my search results should only show t-shirt design templates related to the keyword of photography. As you can see, no matter what topic you type in, Canva will likely have tons of t-shirt design templates that you can use. But keep in mind, to access most of the design templates, you'll need to have a Canva Pro account. So to create my t-shirt design, I think I'm going to go with this t-shirt design template here. When you select a template, it should automatically be added to the preview on the right. Here's where we can edit and fully customize the template however we want. First, let's select all the elements and make the design a bit bigger to fill in more of the template. That's a bit better. So when editing design templates, the first thing I like to do is change the text. So let's go ahead and select each text element and type in whatever we want them to say. For my first two text elements here, I'm going to type in, let's do some shots. Whenever you make changes to your design template, you may have to resize and rearrange things a bit. This can easily be done by dragging the corners of the element. For my top text here, let's drag and make it a bit bigger to make the sides even with the bottom text. So I've changed my main text. Now let's update the subheading down here in the square graphic. Let's say I'm creating a marketing t-shirt for my photography business, and I'm just going to put my website down here. I can then make it a bit bigger and move it over to the center. So now that I've changed what the text says, the next thing I like to do is change the font. So let's select the text element, then use the drop-down menu from the toolbar up top to select a new font. Feel free to browse through the fonts and select the perfect fonts to use for each text element in your design. So I've finished updating my template text. Now let's update the graphic. If I wanted to use this graphic, I could select it to change the graphic color and make other edits. But for this example, let's delete the graphic and see if we can find something better. So to find a new graphic to use for my t-shirt design, let's look at the menu on the left-hand side here and click the Elements tab. Here's where we can search tons of different graphics in the Canva library. Since I'm creating a photography t-shirt design, I think I'll search for camera. To view only the graphics, let's select the Graphics tab. Now I can browse through the results and see all the graphics on Canva related to the keyword of camera. Whatever you type in, you'll likely find hundreds of images, so feel free to take your time and find the best graphic. For this design example, I think I'll just go with this graphic here. When you select the graphic, it'll automatically be added to your template. We currently can't see my graphic because it's the same color as my background, so let's select it and change the color by going to the color icon in the top toolbar. When selecting colors for your graphics or your text, make sure it's colors that complement your design and will be easily visible on the color t-shirt that you decide to upload to. I'm just going to keep things simple and go with white. So in a matter of minutes, I've completely customized this template by updating the text and the graphic. If you like, feel free to continue updating your design by adding more text, more graphics, changing colors, adding effects, or even by rearranging things on your template a bit. This is your t-shirt design, so make sure you get everything exactly the way you want it. Once you're finished, you can use the Print with Canva button at the top here to check out your design on various mockups. And if you like what you see, you can order t-shirts directly from Canva, or click the share button at the top right to download your design and print it with another service, print it yourself, or add it to your online store to sell as a print-on-demand product. So that's a quick overview of how to create t-shirt designs using Canva's t-shirt design templates. Next, let's go over how to use AI to create t-shirt designs with Canva's Magic Media app. With the Magic Media app, you can simply describe the type of image you want to create, and artificial intelligence will be used to generate your image in seconds. This is a great way to create really high quality designs, even if you have no design skills. We'll go over how to use the Magic Media app to generate images with AI and turn them into custom t-shirt designs all within Canva. So let's head over to Canva and go over how to create t-shirt designs using AI. So from the Canva homepage, let's start by opening up a blank t-shirt design project. To do this, I'm just going to select the Create Blank T-shirt option from the menu here. This should open up a blank 14-inch by 18-inch design template in the Canva editor. From here, we can use all of Canva's tools and features to create our t-shirt design. For this example, I'll be going over how to use AI to generate the images for your designs. To do this, the first thing we'll need to do is access the Canva Magic Media app. So let's look at the menu on the left-hand side of the page here and click the Apps tab. This will open up a menu where you can access all the apps that are available on Canva. From the search bar at the top, let's type in Magic Media. From our search results, the first option here should be the Magic Media app. Let's click that now. This will open up the Magic Media app, where you can use artificial intelligence to generate images, graphics, and videos. Since we want to generate graphics to use for our t-shirt design, let's click the Graphics tab up top here. Here's where we can use AI to generate graphics for our t-shirt design. This is a super innovative feature that allows you to generate any type of graphic that you wish. So the first thing we'll need to do is use the text field here to describe the graphic that we want to generate using 5 words or more. For my first t-shirt design example, let's see if the AI can generate an image of a cute teddy bear holding a blank sign. Remember that you can generate any type of graphic that you like, so try to be as descriptive as possible. Once you've described the graphic that you want to generate, you can then use the next section here to select a style for your graphic. Let's click the See All tab here to see all the different style options. As you can see, they have several design styles that we can select from. This includes simple styles, artistic styles, and detailed styles. Feel free to select whatever style that you like, but for my t-shirt design, I think I'm gonna go with the artistic hand-drawn. So now that I've described the image I want to generate and selected a style, let's go down to the bottom here and click the Generate Graphics button. The Magic Media Artificial Intelligence will then analyze the details that you provided and within a few seconds provide you with several AI generated images. As you can see, I now have several options to select from for my cute teddy bear holding a blank sign. I think the graphics came out really good and are super high quality. So once you decide on the graphic that you want to use, simply click it to add it to your template. There we go. From here, you can resize and rearrange your graphic as needed. So now that I've used AI to generate my graphic, let's finish creating my t-shirt design. For this design, I think I'll add some text. So let's look at the menu on the left-hand side and click the text icon. This should open up the text menu. Let's click the tab here to add a heading to my template. And there we go. Now that I've added the heading to my template, let's change the text. I think that'll work. I can then click and drag my text to the middle of the blank sign here. Also, when you have your text selected, you should see the text toolbar at the top here. Let's click the drop-down menu on the left-hand side to change my font. This will open up a menu where you can browse through hundreds of fonts that you can use for your design. Take your time and find the perfect font for your design. For this example, I think I'll just go with this font here. Once you select the font, you can then resize and rearrange your text if needed. So here's my t-shirt design with my artificial intelligence generated image. Feel free to add even more text and graphics to your design, but I'm just gonna roll with this. So let's see how my design looks on a t-shirt mockup by clicking the Print with Canva button at the top right. This will open up a menu where you can view t-shirt mockups of your design and where you can place an order for t-shirts directly from Canva. If we take a look at the mockups here, we can see how my design actually looks on a t-shirt. This is a great way to see how your design looks before placing an order or downloading it. But if everything looks good, feel free to place an order directly from Canva, or if you want to download it, go to the top of the page and click the Share button. This will open up a menu with several share options. Let's look down at the bottom here and click the Download tab. Here's where you can select your download settings. For the highest quality, and to make sure you can download your design with transparency, make sure you have PNG selected under File Type. Using the size slider bar, I like to adjust my size to make sure my design is at least 3,500 by 4,500 pixels. This will ensure your graphics and your text will show up crystal clear on t-shirts. Also, you want to check the transparent background checkbox to make sure your design isn't downloaded with a white or colored square behind it. This is really important if you plan to add your design to t-shirts. But in order to adjust your size and download your design with a transparent background, you'll need to have a Canva Pro account. So once you've selected your download settings, go ahead and go down and click the Download button. And your t-shirt design will be downloaded to your computer, where you can then upload it to another service to print it yourself, or add it as a new print-on-demand product in your online store. So let's go over one more example of how to create t-shirt designs on Canva using artificial intelligence. Let's click the Add Page icon at the top right here to add a new page to my project. This time, let's see if the artificial intelligence can generate something a little bit more complex. So to generate a graphic with artificial intelligence, let's start by going to the Apps tab from the left-hand side menu. From here, we can search for Magic Media, then click the Magic Media app from the search results. Once you get to the Magic Media app, make sure you go over to the Graphics tab. And here's where we can have AI create a new graphic for our t-shirt design. This time, let's see what the AI is really capable of and have it create a graphic of a cool owl wearing sunglasses and a tuxedo while holding a cocktail. Once you describe the graphic that you want to generate, go ahead and go down to the Styles section and click the See All tab. From here, let's select the style that we want the AI to use for our graphic. For this example, I think I'm going to try out the vintage style. So once you describe the graphic that you want to create and select a style, go ahead and go down to the bottom and click the Generate Graphics button. The AI will then analyze your text, and within a few seconds, you'll have several high-quality graphics that you can select from. So here's my AI-generated cool owl wearing a tuxedo and sunglasses holding a cocktail. As you can see, the graphics are high quality, and I think the vintage style will look really good on t-shirts. So feel free to check out your graphic options, and when you select the one you want, simply click it to add it to your template. From here, I can now resize and rearrange my graphic as needed. And now that I've used AI to generate my graphic, I can now finish creating my t-shirt design by adding text, more graphics, or anything else I like. As you can see, with the use of artificial intelligence, anyone can create high-quality, professional t-shirt designs fast. To see how your design looks on a t-shirt mockup, go ahead and click the Print with Canva button at the top right. From here, we can view our t-shirt design on several mockups. Feel free to check out your design and make sure everything looks good. Using the menu on the right, you can also change the mockup shirt color. I think my design looks better on light colored shirts, so let's change my mockups to white. If your design looks good on the mockups, feel free to order t-shirts directly from Canva using the menu on the right. Or we can close this menu and go to the Share button up top to download our design. From the Share menu, let's click the Download tab. For your download settings, make sure you have PNG selected, make sure you've adjusted your size, and select it to download your graphic with a transparent background. Once you've selected your download settings, go ahead and click the Download button. And your new graphic will then be downloaded to your computer. If you're a new designer or just not very good at it, then using artificial intelligence can be a great way to turn your ideas into t-shirt designs. The graphics you can generate with Canva's Magic Media AI app are super high quality and makes creating t-shirt designs fast and actually pretty fun. So we've gone over how to generate graphics with AI. Now let's go over how to create simple text designs for your t-shirts. I'll be demonstrating how to make t-shirt designs that feature text as the main focus. This could include cool slogans, something funny, inspirational or motivational quotes, clever sayings, or any other text you like. Plain text designs are easy to create, even for beginners, and can look good on a variety of shirt colors and styles. So let's head over to Canva and go over how to create t-shirt designs with text as the main focus. From the Canva homepage, let's start by opening up a blank template. To do this, I can search for t-shirt in the search bar, but I'm just going to click the Create Blank T-Shirt Template option here. This will open up the Canva editor where we can create our t-shirt design. Let's use the slider at the bottom here to make my template a bit bigger so we can see a little better. Also, I plan to create a t-shirt design for a black shirt. So let's select my template background and click the background color icon at the top toolbar. From here, you can use the menu on the left to select whatever color you want to use for your background. So now that I've changed my background color, let's go over how to create text t-shirt designs. Since we'll be focusing on text, let's click the text icon from the menu on the left-hand side. This will open up a menu with various options to add text to your template. To add text to use for my t-shirt design, let's click the Add Heading tab here. This will add a new text box to your template that you can edit. So for my first text element, I'm just going to write the word travel. I'm actually going to add several text elements so that I can resize and move them around individually. For my next text element, let's click here to add a subheading. And honestly, it really doesn't matter which heading you select because they can all be resized as needed. So let's change the default text to the text I want to use for my design. And this t-shirt design will actually be my definition for travel, so this should all make sense shortly. Let's move it to the left underneath my other text element. And for the last text element I'm going to add to my t-shirt design, let's click here to add some body text. Let's make this text box a bit wider by dragging the side here and move it down a little as well. Also, my text is currently centered, so let's click the alignment icon from the toolbar up top here to align my text to the left. So now, let's select the default text and type in the text that I want to use for my t-shirt design. For my definition of travel, it's going to say the only thing you can buy that actually makes you richer. I think that'll work. So these are the 3 text elements that I'll be using for my t-shirt design. Now that I've added my text boxes and changed the text, we can start having a little fun. Whenever you select a text element, you'll notice the text toolbar appear at the top of the page. From here, You'll find all sorts of options for your selected text, such as the option to change the font, the size, the color, add formatting, add effects, and much more. So for my selected text here, let's use the drop-down menu on the left-hand side of the toolbar to select a new font. This will open up a menu where you can browse through hundreds of different fonts that you can select for your text. The fonts you select will depend on your design, your style, and your personal preference. Also, if you already know the font that you want to use, you can find it using the search bar up top here. Simply type in the font name and select it from the results. So the font for my travel text has now been changed. As you update your fonts and make other changes, you may have to resize and rearrange the elements on your template a bit. There we go. So for my other two text elements, I'm just going to select them and use the drop-down menu to select the same font for both of them. Feel free to use different fonts if you like, but for my t-shirt design, I think the same font will look the best. And remember, different fonts can have different sizes, so let's resize and rearrange my text elements to get them in the perfect location. To resize my text, I like to simply select it and drag the corner. Feel free to take your time and make sure you get everything exactly the way you want it. Also, when creating your t-shirt design, you also want to try to fill up as much of the template as possible. So let's click and drag to select all the elements on my template, and I can then move and resize all my elements at the same time. Feel free to continue editing by changing your text colors, adding supporting graphics, or anything else you like. But for this example, I think I'm just going to roll with this simple text design here. So to see how my design looks on a t-shirt, let's click the Print with Canva tab up top here. This will open up a menu where we can view t-shirt mockups and order t-shirts directly from Canva if we wish as well. So let's see how my simple text design looks on the mockups here. Not bad. I think it's simple yet stylish. Simple text designs like this are easy for anyone to make because you don't have to be too fancy. Minimalist designs with text is actually a popular trend in fashion. So let's close the menu here and add a new page to my project to go over another example of a text design. For this text design, I think I'll add a supporting graphic. So to get started, let's go to the menu on the left and click the Text tab. From the text menu, let's click the tab here to add a heading to my template. Once you add a heading, go ahead and change the text to whatever you want to use for your design. You can then resize and rearrange your text element as needed. For this design, I think I'll add a subheading as well. I can then add the text for my subheading. And of course, I can then resize and rearrange it on my template. In order to resize and arrange both of my text elements at the same time, let's click and drag to select them both and rearrange them on my template. I'm going to make mine a bit bigger and move it towards the top center. Next, let's select my font, then use the drop-down menu from the toolbar up top to select a new font. Take your time and browse through the fonts and select the one that works best for your design. Keep in mind, when you change your font, your text size may change, so you may have to adjust the size of your text element on your template. Let's go ahead and select the font for my second text element as well. For my second line of text, I'm going to use a different font. And then let's resize the text to line up with my top text. There we go. So here's a simple text design that we could use for our t-shirt, but let's see if we can make it even better. For this text design, I'm going to be adding a supporting graphic. So let's look at the menu on the left-hand side here and click the Elements tab. This will open up a menu where you can browse through tons of graphics, shapes, photos, and other elements. In the search bar up top, simply type in the type of graphic that you're looking for. Select the Graphics tab to view only the graphics, and browse through thousands of graphics that are available in the Canva library. No matter what you type in, you'll likely find tons of available graphics. They have some free graphics, but to access all the graphics, you'll need to have a Canva Pro account. So for my t-shirt design, let's just go with this graphic here. Once you add your graphic to your template, go ahead and resize and rearrange it as needed. Feel free to play around a bit and find the perfect spot for your graphic. And with your graphic selected, you can access the toolbar up top here where you can change the position of your graphic, edit the transparency, flip your graphic, and for many of the graphics on Canva, you can even change the colors. Feel free to continue editing your design, but I think I'm done with this one. So to preview how my design looks on a t-shirt, let's click the Print with Canva button at the top here. From the menu on the right, let's click to open up the t-shirt mockups. Not bad. I think the graphic complements my text perfectly. And with access to the Canva library, you can find pretty much any type of graphic that you would need for your design. So even when creating simple text designs, adding a supporting graphic or shape from the Canva library may help make your design a little bit better. So let's close the menu here and add a new page to my project to go over one more example of a text t-shirt design. For this example, I'm going to make a text design that's a bit more complex. This will show you various techniques and options that you can use while designing t-shirts. So first, let's go to the menu on the left and click the text tab to add a heading to my template. For this text element, I'm going to type the word positive. Let's make it a bit bigger, move it up a bit, then select it, and use the drop-down menu from the toolbar up top to select a new font. I think that'll work. So for my text element here, the next thing I want to do is make some duplicates. So to do this, let's select the text element, then click the duplicate icon from the menu here. I'm going to click it twice to make 2 duplicates so that each text element will have exactly the same size, font, color, and everything else. Next, let's move one of the text elements about halfway above the first element and the other one about halfway below it. When making your t-shirt designs, remember to be creative and don't be afraid to try some different things out. For my middle text, I want to make sure it's in front of both of the other text elements, so let's select it, then go to the Position tab from the toolbar up top here. I can then move the bottom and top text behind the middle text. So my middle text is now in the front, but my design still looks like a mess. So let's continue editing and see what else we can do. If you select a text element on your template and go to the toolbar up top, you should see a tab that says Effects. If you click this, it'll open up a menu where you can add all sorts of different style effects to your text. This includes effects like a shadow effect, an outline effect, and even a neon effect. These are all pretty cool, so I definitely recommend that you experiment with them. But for my design, I think I'm gonna add the hollow effect to my bottom text and to my top text. There we go. Now my text is a little bit easier to read, but let's see what else we can do to help it stand out a bit more. From the menu on the left, let's go to the Effects tab. This is where we can access all the graphics and shapes available on Canva. For my t-shirt design, I'm gonna add a shape behind my middle text to help it stand out more. To view all the shapes available in the Canva library, let's click the See All tab here. As you can see, there are tons of different lines and shapes available on Canva for us to use. For my design, I think I'm just going to go with this first square shape here. When you select a shape, it should automatically be added to your template. So let's resize the square by dragging the sides, then select it, and use the Position tab from the toolbar up top to move it in front of my bottom text and my top text, but behind my middle text. And if I move the shape behind my middle text now, it should form a nice background. Let's increase my template size so we can see a little better. Sometimes you may have to zoom in so you can edit the small details. So I think that makes a good background for my text, but I think I want to change the color. So with my shape selected, let's go to the toolbar up top and click the Color tab. Here's where I can select any color that I want to use for my shape. I'm planning to upload this to a black shirt, so I'm going to keep things simple and change my shape to black. I think that should look pretty cool. And remember, as you're designing, feel free to make little adjustments as needed. So next, I think I'll add another text element to my design. To do this, let's go to the Text tab on the left-hand side. From here, I think I'll select to add a subheading. I can then rearrange the text element on my template and change the text. I also want to change the color of my text, so let's select it and go to the Color tab from the toolbar up top. For this text element, I think I'll go with red. And using the drop-down menu on the left here, I'm also going to change the font. Feel free to browse the fonts and find the perfect one for your design. For my font, this time I think I'll go with cursive. And when you change your font, you'll likely have to resize and rearrange your element as well. There we go. So from the Text tab, let's add the last line of text to my design. This time, I'm going to select the Body Text tab. For this text element, I'm going to move it to the bottom of my design. I can then select it and change what the text says. And of course, we can select it and use the drop-down menu from the toolbar up top to change the font. And for my bottom text, I want it to be the same length as my middle text, so let's select it and go to the spacing icon from the toolbar up top. From here, I can adjust my letter spacing and make it just as wide as my middle text. I think that looks much better. And the last thing I think I'll do is add a background to my bottom text just like I did with my middle text. So let's go to the Elements tab on the left-hand side, go to the Shapes, and select the Square option. I can then resize my square and position it behind my bottom text. Adding backgrounds like this is a great way to help your text stand out. And actually, I think this will look a little bit better if my text was black. When creating your designs, try to have fun with it and make any changes as you see fit. So here's my new Positive Vibes Living My Best Life t-shirt design. To see how it looks on an actual t-shirt, let's click the Print with Canva tab up top here. I can then click to view the t-shirt mockups. From here, make sure your design looks good and it doesn't need any other changes. And if everything looks good, feel free to order t-shirts directly from Canva or download your design to print yourself or add to your print-on-demand store. But before we wrap up creating text designs, there's one more thing I wanted to show you. For some designs you create, it may be required to add a curve to your text. To do this, simply select your text, then go to the Effects tab from the toolbar up top. And if you scroll down to the bottom of the menu on the left, you should see the Shapes section. If you click the Curve option, it'll add a curve to your selected text. And if you scroll down a bit, you'll see a slider bar where you can adjust your curve. Simply slide it to the left to curve your text up, or slide it to the right to curve your text down. Adding a curve or other effects to your text can really help your design stand out. So once you're ready to download your design, go ahead and go up to the Share button at the top right of the page. From the menu, let's go down to the Download tab. Here's where we can select our download settings. Under File Type, make sure you have PNG selected. This will allow you to adjust the size and the transparency of your design. Using the size slider bar, I like to make my design at least 3500 by 4500 pixels. Also, to make sure your design isn't downloaded with a background, make sure you check the transparent background option. But keep in mind, in order to adjust the size and download your design with a transparent background, you'll need to have a Canva Pro account. So once you finish selecting your download settings, go ahead and click the download button, and your new t-shirt design will be downloaded to your computer. You can now add your new text design to t-shirts or upload it to your online store to sell as a print-on-demand product. So we've gone over how to create t-shirt designs that are focused on text. Next, let's go over how to easily create t-shirt designs using the graphics that are available in the Canva library. These designs will focus mainly on the image or graphics that are used and may have supporting text as well. For your main graphic, you want something that's stylish and attention-grabbing. Unless you're an experienced graphic designer, creating great graphics can be pretty difficult. But luckily, Canva's library features tens of thousands of graphics on every topic that we can use to create our designs. So let's head over to Canva and go over how to create t-shirt designs using the graphics in the Canva library. So the first thing we'll need to do is open up a Canva template. To open up a blank t-shirt design template, you can search for t-shirt in the search bar up top, but I'm just going to select the Create Blank T-shirt option from the menu here. This will open up a blank project in Canva that we can use to create our t-shirt design. Before we get started, let's use the slider bar at the bottom here to zoom in a bit on the template. There we go. This should make it easier to see and edit. So first, let's go over how to create a simple t-shirt design using the graphics in the Canva library. To access the Canva library, let's click the Elements tab from the left-hand side menu. Here's where we can access all the shapes, graphics, photos, and other elements in the Canva library. To find a graphic, simply use the search bar up top here. For this example, I want to make a photography t-shirt design, so let's search for camera. Since I'm only looking for all the graphics relating to camera, let's click the Graphics tab at the top. And this should pull up all the graphics in the Canva library related to the search term of camera. No matter what you type in, they'll likely have hundreds, if not thousands of graphics available. They have a few free graphics, but to access all the graphics, you'll need to have a Canva Pro account. So for this t-shirt design example, I think I'm going to go with this graphic here. When you select a graphic, it'll automatically be added to your template. From here, go ahead and drag the corners to resize your graphic, and you can click and drag it to change its location. You want to try to make your design elements big enough to fill in most of the template and not leave too much blank space around them. And if you click and select your graphic, you'll notice an editing toolbar appear at the top of the page. Using the tools here, you can edit your photo, flip your photo, change its position on the template, and for some graphics, even change the colors. This allows you to really customize your graphics and make them perfect for your t-shirt design. So now that I've added my first graphic, I think I'm going to add a bit of text as well. To do this, let's click the text icon from the menu on the left-hand side. This will open up a menu where we can add a text box to our template. For my t-shirt design, let's click here to add a subheading to my template. Once your text box has been added, make sure it's selected and go ahead and change the text. And for my text element, I'm actually going to use the round icon at the bottom here to rotate it to match up with my graphic. For any of your text elements or your graphics, you can use the icon here to rotate them as much as you like. So next, let's select my text, then go to the drop-down menu from the toolbar up top to change the font. When selecting a font, make sure you select one that matches the style of the design that you're trying to create. And different fonts may have different sizes, so go ahead and use the sides and the corners of your text element to resize your text. There we go. So next, I think I'm going to add another graphic to my design. So let's go back to the Elements tab from the menu on the left-hand side. And this time, I'm going to search for Flash. I can then click the Graphics tab and search through all the graphics on Canva related to the keyword of Flash. For my design, I think I'll add this graphic here. Now that I've added my new graphic, let's use the round icon at the bottom here to rotate it to match my text. I'm also going to drag it over to reposition it and resize it a bit. I want to make this flash kind of look like it's coming out of my camera lens. And while we have the flash graphics open in the menu here, let's see if we can find another graphic to add to the ends of my text. I want something simple just to help my text stand out, so I think I'll go with this little 3 stars icon here. With my new graphic selected, I'm going to go to the color icon from the toolbar up top to change the color. To complement my design, I'm going to change it to the same color as this colored strip on my camera. I can then resize my new graphic and move it to the end of my text. And I actually want to add the graphic to both ends of my text, so let's click the duplicate button here so we can make a copy that's the exact same size and color. And with the duplicate selected, let's go to the toolbar up top and click the flip tab so I can flip the graphic horizontally. And finally, let's take my new graphic and move it to the other end of my text. There we go. I definitely think that helps to highlight my text. And so I don't leave too much blank space around my template, let's select all the elements and drag the corner to increase the size of everything at the same time. This will make sure my design fills in most of the blank space whenever I download it. So here's my new I'm about to snap photography t-shirt design. To see how my design will look on a t-shirt, let's go to the top here and click the Print with Canva tab to check out some t-shirt mockups. From the menu on the left, you have the ability to order t-shirts directly from Canva and also to view several t-shirt mockups. I plan to upload my design to a white shirt, so let's change the t-shirt mockup colors to white. Now we can scroll back up and click here to enlarge the t-shirt mockups. From here, we can see several examples of your design on a t-shirt with the person actually wearing it. This is an excellent way to see how your design will look before you place an order or download it. As you can see, using the graphics in the Canva library makes it super easy for anyone to create t-shirt designs. So let's close the menu here and go over another example of how to create t-shirt designs using the graphics in the Canva library. For this example, I plan to upload this design to a shirt that's either navy or dark blue. So let's use the color icon from the top menu here to change the color of my background. So to create this t-shirt design, I'll be demonstrating how to combine graphics from the Canva library. Instead of just selecting a graphic and adding a bit of text, we can get a lot more creative and combine various graphics and shapes to create our t-shirt design. So to get started, let's go to the Elements tab from the menu on the left-hand side. For my design, I'm going to start by adding a shape. So let's click the See All tab on the right-hand side here to see all the shapes. Here's where we can view tons of different lines and shapes that we can use for our designs. From the Shapes section here, I'm going to click to add this square with the curved corners. Once my shape is added to my template, I can use the toolbar up top here to customize my shape. For my shape, the first thing I'm going to do is add a border. So let's go to the toolbar here and click the border style icon. This will open up a menu with various border options for your shape. I'm going to click here to add a solid border to my shape and also use the border weight slider to adjust the thickness of my border. And with the corner rounding slider, you can also adjust the roundness of your shape's corners if you like. It's pretty amazing how many design options are available on Canva, even with simple shapes. So next, let's remove the color from the inside of my square by clicking the Color tab from the toolbar up top. Instead of selecting a color, let's select the transparent icon here. This will make my shape transparent, leaving only my square border. Also, I want my border to be white, so let's go back up to the toolbar here and click the border color icon. And from here, you can select any color you want to use for your border. The shapes on Canva are actually very dynamic, making them great for creating custom t-shirt designs. If I needed to resize or even change the shape of my shape, I could simply click and drag the corners. For my design, I think I'll make my square a little bit wider. There we go. And for my design, I'm gonna need 3 of these exact same shapes. So let's select it and click the duplicate button 2 times. Now that I have my 3 shapes, let's arrange them so that one's in the middle and the other 2 are evenly spaced on each side. If you need to resize your shapes but want to keep them all the same size, simply select them all at the same time, then drag the corner to resize them. I can now arrange my shapes so that there's a little bit of space in between them on my template. There we go. So now that I've added my shapes, the next thing I want to do is add some graphics. So from the Elements tab here, let's click the back button to go back to the main menu. From here, let's use the search bar up top to search for basketball hoop. This will pull up all the elements in the Canva library related to that search term. So let's click the Graphics tab and browse through the results to find a good graphic to use for my design. I just want a simple basketball hoop outline, so I think I'll go with this graphic here. With my graphic selected, let's use the toolbar up top to change the color to white. I can now resize my graphic and move it over to the inside of my first shape. I think that'll work. So I've added my first graphic. Now I want to do the same thing for the other 2 shapes as well. So let's go back to the Elements tab, and for my second shape, I think I want to add a basketball. From the results, let's try to find a graphic that's similar to my first graphic. I think this one looks pretty close. So let's select it, change its color, resize it, and move it to my middle square. And for my last graphic here, I think I'll add a basketball jersey. So let's find an outlined icon with a similar style, add it to my template, change its color, resize it, and move it to my last square here. And for my jersey graphic, I think it looks a little plain. So I'm gonna go back to the Elements tab here and select this number 1 graphic. And of course, I can then resize it, move it over to my jersey, and change its color. So here's the graphics and shapes that I'm gonna use for my t-shirt design. As you can see, by combining graphics and shapes, you can create pretty much any type of design that you like. I think this looks pretty cool, but I'm gonna add some text as well. So let's go to the menu on the left-hand side and click the Text tab. From the menu here, let's select to add a heading. For my first text element, I'm just gonna write the word shoot, resize it, and move it underneath my first square. I'm then gonna duplicate this text twice to use for my other squares. This will ensure that they're all the exact same size. I can then move the new text elements underneath my other 2 squares. There we go. And for my middle text, I'm gonna change it to dribble. And for my last text element, let's have it say pass. So here's my new shoot, dribble, pass basketball t-shirt design. I think it turned out pretty good. I can now order t-shirts directly from Canva or download my design to add to my print-on-demand store. So let's go over one more example of how to create t-shirt designs using the graphics and shapes in the Canva library. But this time, let's make one that's a bit more complex. For this example, I think I want to use a white background. So to create this design, I'm going to start by adding some shapes. So let's go to the menu on the left-hand side and go to the Elements tab. From here, let's view all the shapes by clicking the See All tab on the right-hand side of the Shape section. Here's where we can view all the different lines and shapes available on Canva. From the Shape section, let's just select the standard square here. Next, with my shape selected, I'm going to use the toolbar up top to change it to a dark green. I think that'll work. So now let's drag the corners of my shape to resize it. Instead of a square, I'm going to form it into a long vertical rectangle. And I'm actually going to need 4 of these. So using the duplicate button from the menu at the top here, let's make 3 new copies of my shape. I also want to make sure they're evenly spaced apart. And let's drag to select them all at the same time and drag the corner to make them a little bit bigger to fill in more of my template. Next, let's select the first graphic here and use the color icon from the toolbar up top to change the color to red. And I think I want a darker red, so let's click the custom color icon at the top left here and move the round icon on the menu over to a darker shade of red. From the menu here, you can select any color that you wish to use for your graphics or text. Also, I want to select my third rectangle graphic and change it to the same color red. So these 4 red and green shapes will form the background of my t-shirt design. The next thing I want to add is some text, but I'm actually going to have my text blend into my shapes. So let's go to the text menu from the toolbar on the left hand side and click the Add a Heading tab. To spell my word, I'm actually going to add each letter as a separate text element. For my first letter, I'm going to make an H, make it a bit bigger, and move it over to the top of my first rectangle shape here. And with my letter selected, let's use the drop-down menu from the toolbar up top to change the font, and I'm also going to change the color to the same color red as the shape is sitting on. So I've added a letter to my first shape, so now let's duplicate it 3 times for my other 3 shapes. This will ensure the other letters have the exact same size and font, and it's a lot quicker too. And now that I've moved each letter to the top of each shape, let's change them to the correct letters to spell the word hike. And for the letters sitting on top of the green shapes, let's change them to green as well. So I finished adding my main text, but now let's go back to the text tab and click to add a subheading. I can then change the text and move it to the top of my design here. And of course, I can then use the text editing tools to change the font, the size, and the color. I think that looks pretty good. So I've finished adding my shapes and my text, so now let's add my main graphics. To access the graphics in the Canva library, let's look at the menu on the left-hand side and click the Elements tab. In the search bar up top, let's search for hiking. I can then select the Graphics tab to view only the graphics, and view tons of graphics related to the search term of hiking. For my t-shirt design, I think I'll go with this hiker graphic here. And to make my background a little more stylish, let's shorten the first and last rectangles here. And for my hiker graphic, let's change the color to white, move it over to the right side of my design, and resize it a bit. I think that looks pretty good. But let's go back to the Elements tab and see what other hiking graphics we can find to use for my design. And to give my hiker a nice scenery to hike on, I think I'll add this mountain. I can now resize my mountain and move it around to the perfect location. Not bad, it's definitely coming together. I think that looks good, but let's add one more graphic to fill in the bottom part of my design. For my last graphic, I think I'll add a hiking trail. And just like the other graphics, let's change the color to white and arrange the graphic so the trail looks like it's going to the mountain. To make sure you get everything exactly perfect, sometimes you may have to zoom in a bit. I can now use the round icon on the side here to rotate my graphic to line up with the bottom of my shapes. So here's my new Take a Hike hiking t-shirt design. Feel free to add more graphics, text, or shapes, but I think my design looks good as is. So let's click the Print with Canva button at the top right here and see how my design looks on some t-shirt mockups. Also, my design was made specifically for a white shirt, so let's change my mockup t-shirt color to white. And there we go. Now my white graphics blend in perfectly with the white shirt. If you need to make any edits, feel free to make some changes before ordering t-shirts or downloading your design. If you wanted to order t-shirts directly from Canva, you can use the Print with Canva menu on the right here. But for my design, I'm going to download it to add to my print-on-demand store. So let's close the menu here, then go up to the top right of the page and click the Share button. Here's where you'll find various options to share your design. So let's go down to the bottom here and click the Download tab. Here's where we can select our download settings. From the File Type drop-down menu at the top, make sure you have PNG selected. This will ensure you can increase the size of your design and export with a transparent background. Underneath your file type, you should see the size slider bar. I like to increase my design size to at least 3500 by 4500 pixels. This will ensure my design shows up clear and sharp on my t-shirt. And to remove the white or colored square from behind your design, make sure you select the transparent background checkbox. For your design to look good on t-shirts, you'll have to remove the background. But in order to adjust your design size and download your design with the transparent background, you'll need to have a Canva Pro account. So once you finish selecting your download settings, go ahead and click the Download button. And your new t-shirt design will be downloaded to your computer. I can now add my design to t-shirts and other products, or add it to products to sell in my print-on-demand store. So we've gone over how to use the graphics and shapes in the Canva library. Now let's go over how to create t-shirt designs fast using Canva's font combinations. Font combinations are pre-made font templates that you can edit and use to create text designs for your t-shirts. The fonts are pre-selected to complement each other and provide a great base to start with when you want to create text designs that stand out. So let's head over to Canva and go over how to create t-shirt designs using font combinations. From the Canva homepage, let's start by opening up a blank t-shirt template. To do this, you can search for t-shirt in the search bar up top here, but I'm just going to select the Create Blank T-shirt option here. This will open up a new 14 by 18 inch project that we can use to create our t-shirt design. Let's zoom in a bit using the slider bar at the bottom. There we go. Also, for my first example, I think I want to have a darker background. So let's select my template background here and click the color icon at the top toolbar. I can then select whatever color I wish to change my background to. When creating your t-shirt design, you want to try to create your design on a similar color to the t-shirt that you'll be uploading to. So now I'm ready to create my t-shirt design. To access the font combinations, let's look at the menu on the left-hand side and click the Text tab. Here's where we'll find several options to add text to our design. If you scroll underneath the heading tabs here, you should see the font combinations. Here's where we can browse through tons of pre-made font templates that we can use for our design. And they have several different styles and combinations, and each font combination can be customized however you like. They do have some free ones available, but to access all the font combinations, you'll need to have a Canva Pro account. So once you find a font combination that you like, simply select it to add it to your template. When you first add a font combination, typically the text elements will be grouped together. This means we can easily resize and move everything around at the same time. So next, let's select and change my top text, and then change what my bottom text says as well. And as you can see, if you try to change your text with everything grouped together, it can get a little bundled up. So with my text selected here, let's go down to the toolbar at the bottom and click the Ungroup tab. This will ungroup my text elements and allow me to resize and move each line of text individually. Once you finish resizing each line of text, feel free to select them all and click the Group tab in the toolbar to group them all together again. I can now move my text around and resize it as if they were the same element. If you wanted to change the font of one of your text elements, simply select it, then click the drop-down menu from the toolbar up top. You can then use the menu on the left to select any font that you wish to use for your text. So for this example, let's change the font of my first line of text and also change the font for my second line of text. But keep in mind, when you change your font, the size and alignment of your text might change as well. So to fix this, we'll need to ungroup our elements again and resize and arrange them as needed. And once you're finished, feel free to select all of your text elements and group them together again. Also, if you want to customize your text even further, such as changing the color, simply select it and use the toolbar at the top here. For my text, I think I'll actually swap the color pattern and have my top text white and my bottom text red. So here's my first t-shirt design example using a font combination. Feel free to add more text, graphics, or make any other edits that you like. But for this example, I'm going to keep it simple and go with this. If you wanted to see how your design looks on t-shirt mockups, go to the top of the page here and click the Print with Canva button. This will open up a menu where you can view your design on several mockups and order t-shirts directly from Canva if you wish as well. I think the design looks great, and with font combinations, I was able to create it super fast. So let's add a new page to my project and go over another t-shirt design example using a different font combination. So to access the font combinations, let's look at the menu on the left-hand side and click the Text tab. From the menu here, we can scroll down and view all the font combinations available on Canva. So let's check out the font combinations and find one to use for my next design. They all have different layouts and effects, so you want to try to find one that matches the style of the design that you're trying to create. For my next example, I think I'll go with this font combination here. And let's rearrange and drag the corners of my font combination to increase the size to fill in more of my template. There we go. And when you add a font combination, all the text elements will be grouped together. So let's select it and click the Ungroup tab from the toolbar at the bottom. And I can now edit each line of text individually. So let's move the front text down for now so I can edit the back text. And for my back text, I think I'm going to change it to say world. And since it has more letters now, let's make the text element a bit smaller. And for the front text element, let's change it to say traveler. And to fit on my design with this many letters, I'm going to need to resize the text box. I think that'll work. Now I can move it back in front of my back text. And if you like, feel free to select all your elements and resize and arrange them as needed. And here's my World Traveler t-shirt design created in a matter of minutes using a font combination. The font combinations on Canva were professionally designed to have the perfect text, colors, and style. So printing my design as is would work perfectly. But each font combination is fully customizable, so feel free to change the text colors, your font, add effects, or anything else to create your perfect design. To help your design stand out, there are several cool effects available on Canva that you can add to your text. To add an effect to my traveler text here, let's select it and click the Effects tab from the toolbar up top. This will open up the Effects menu with tons of different effects that you can add to your text. Many font combinations will already include effects, such as my text here, which already has the lift style enabled. But we also have other style options here, such as the outline effect, the echo effect, the hollow effect, the neon effect, or even add a background to your text. For my traveler text here, I really like the hollow effect, but I think I'm gonna go with the outline. When you select an effect, you'll notice a settings menu pop up underneath. Here's where you'll find several customization options for the effect you selected. I'm gonna change my outline color and adjust the thickness. So here's my World Traveler t-shirt design. I think it looks pretty cool. By using font combinations and adding style effects, you can create some nice looking designs. So let's go over one more example of creating t-shirt designs with font combinations, but this time we're gonna be using graphics as well. So let's start by adding our font combination by going to the text tab in the menu on the left. I can then scroll down and find a good font combination to use for my design. For this design, I want something that's kind of bold. I think this huge cell font combination will work, so let's click it to add it to my template. I can then resize and rearrange it as needed. Next, let's change my top and my bottom text. And I'm using more letters, so everything's not fitting on the original text line. So to fix this, let's ungroup my text elements and resize my bottom text. There we go. Next, I think I'm gonna add another line of text, so let's go back over to the text menu on the left and scroll back up to the top. From here, I'm gonna select to add a subheading. I can then change the text and move it to the top of my design. I'm also gonna drag the corner to resize my new text. I think that'll work. And here's my new I need more space t-shirt design. I could just roll with this, but let's see if we can make it a little bit better. I'm actually gonna go to my middle text here, delete the O, and fill it in with a few spaces. Now that I've removed my letter, let's look at the menu on the left hand side and go to the Elements tab. Here's where we can search the Canva library for all sorts of shapes and graphics that we can use for our design. In the search bar up top here, let's search for planet. This should pull up all the elements in the Canva library related to the search term of planet. Since I'm only looking for graphics, let's click the Graphics tab at the top here. I can then browse through tons of graphics on Canva related to the keyword of planet. For my I need more space t-shirt design, I think this graphic here will work perfectly. So let's click it to add it to my template, resize it, and move it over to fill in the empty space in my text. There we go. I think adding the planet really helps to take my design to the next level. If you like, feel free to make more changes, like changing the text color, changing your fonts, adding effects, or even adding more graphics. You can use the font combination as a base and create any type of t-shirt design that you can think of. And here's my new I need more space t-shirt design. To see how it looks on t-shirt mockups, let's click the Print with Canva button up top. I can then click to enlarge the mockups and check out my new design. When checking out your mockups, make sure you change the shirt color to the color shirt that you plan to upload to. If everything looks good, you can order t-shirts directly from Canva using the menu on the right. But for my design, I'm gonna download it to add to my print-on-demand store. So let's close the menu, and at the top of the page here, let's click the Share button. This will open up a menu with various share options. At the bottom here, let's click the Download tab. Here's where we can select our download settings. From the File Type drop-down menu, make sure you have PNG selected. This will allow you to adjust the size of your design and download with transparency. In using the size slider bar here, I like to increase the size of my design to at least 3500 by 4500 pixels. And to download your design without the colored background behind it, make sure you select the transparent background checkbox. But keep in mind, in order to increase your design size and download it with a transparent background, you'll need to have a Canva Pro account. So once you've selected your download settings, go down to the bottom here and click the Download button. And your new design will then be downloaded to your computer. You can now use your design to create t-shirts or other products, or upload it to your print-on-demand store to sell. So as you can see, using font combinations is a great way for anyone to create high-quality t-shirt designs fast. So that's an overview of several different ways that you can create professional t-shirt designs on Canva. If you enjoyed the video, make sure you hit that like button and subscribe to the channel. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.